Well, I don't know if it was a case of North Carolina winning or just Ohio losing, but the Tar Heels advanced with a 73-65 victory in tonight's Sweet 16 game. It was ugly at times. Initially, it looked like the Heels were going to pull away in the first half because the Bobcats were not hitting shots, but they ended up coming around in the second half, something I expected them to do. They have a good perimeter game, but the talk here is, okay, it's pretty clear that the Heels cannot win without Kendall Marshall. Stillman White was good tonight. He wasn't great. He didn't need to be great. He just needed to be average at best, but I didn't really think he was the problem. The problem is you now have, without Kendall Marshall, you have three guys that essentially are going to bring the ball up for you at certain points in the game. You have White, you have Justin Watts, and you have Reggie Bullock. Now, Bullock, I thought, played well tonight along the perimeter. He hit some big shots, but Justin Watts, he isn't a point guard. I don't know what he's doing bringing the ball up. He's dribbling into traffic. He's turning the ball over. He tried to ad-lib and improvise a lot more than he needed to, whereas White played well because he didn't try to do too much. But at the same time, White, the defenders know he's not going to do too much, so he gets to that second layer of defenders, and he's too afraid to shoot the ball, but he kind of gets caught up, and he's like, okay, well, where am I going to pass it? But the defenders are expecting him to pass it. So I think White was okay. He was as good as he could have been tonight, or about as good as he could have been tonight. But obviously, you're not going to beat NC State or Kansas in the next game playing this way. So that's frustrating. One last thing, Harrison Barnes, my God, he's almost like the hometown hero who's going to have to come back to where he grew up after trying to make it in the big city next season. If he comes back to North Carolina for his junior year, people are going to be like, what are you doing here? It's like his tail's going to be in between his legs. He's probably going to be a preseason All-American for another season. He hasn't proven it. He looked like he was elsewhere tonight. He finished with 12 points, but he was 3 of 16 shooting, I believe. He tried to go one-on-one a lot on the perimeter, and he was coming up short on almost all of his shots. And I mean, dude, it doesn't look good for him right now. Who knows if he'll turn it around in the Elite Eight game, but his NBA stock has just plummeted really this season. And tonight, the biggest stage, they almost lost that game. And if the Heels were to lose, you could easily say, you could blame it all on Barnes, because this is the type of game where they need him to step up and play big, and he just didn't. And it was embarrassing. I mean, that was pretty much all Twitter was talking about tonight, was how bad Harrison Barnes was playing. So the Heels advance. It wasn't pretty. They cannot go to the Final Four if they keep playing this way, but they do live to see another game and a couple more days for Marshall to get healthy, and perhaps he'll be ready to play by then, but obviously, who knows?